Welcome to the 100th episode of the Idea Climbing Podcast. I'm excited to have the king of sales, Jeffrey Gitomer, as my guest in part one of this two-part interview. We're discussing some of his golden nuggets of sales advice from 19 years of experience. Jeffrey is a New York Times best-selling author whose books have appeared on major bestseller lists more than 500 times and have sold millions of copies worldwide. Jeffrey has also delivered over 2,500 speeches worldwide. He was awarded the designation of CSP, or Certified Speaking Professional, by the National Speakers Association. The CSP award has been given fewer than 500 times in the past 25 years and is the association's highest earned designation. We discuss topics such as why finding your prospects' pain points is the wrong way to approach sales, why you need to understand that sales isn't about selling and what it's really about, questions you need to ask to close the deal faster, and other golden nuggets of advice. You're going to love this show. Welcome to the Idea Climbing Podcast. Today we're here with the sales king, Jeffrey Gitomer. Thank you for making the time, Jeffrey. I appreciate it.
It's a pleasure, Mark. Total pleasure. How are you doing?
So far, so great. Having a good week. Cannot complain. How about you?
Well, you can complain, but no one listens.
Very true.
And I think that's the whole deal. I think that there's a decided process that's involved in whatever it is that we do. And people tend to talk about what's on their mind. And unfortunately, most of the time it's negative talk. And it's not what I really care about.
Negative talk as far as talking about negative things, or negative talk inside their head?
The weather, they talk about the traffic, they talk about the politics, they talk about their bullshit. And no one wants to hear it. No one wants to hear it.
So what do they want to hear?
Well, if you've ever watched the news, which I probably haven't watched since 1972, if it bleeds, it leads. So they tell you about the killings, they tell you about the fires, they tell you about all the disasters that happened and the volcanoes. And I don't know, that's no reason for me to waste my time watching that. Do you have any understanding of that? Do you understand what I'm talking about?
Completely. I don't watch the news. I'll skim just in case something comes up. I don't want to look ignorant, so I'll skim, but I skim online so I can just control what goes into my brain. As far as the news itself, I don't remember the last time I watched a news show.
Yeah, there's no reason to.
No. It's just all, like you said, if it bleeds, it leads. I love that. That's completely true.
So the challenge is, what are you investing your time in to be able to make something happen for you on a positive basis?
Go on with investing your time. What do you mean?
There's three uses of time. Two are bad. Waste time, spend time, invest time.
Okay.
So if I invest my time by reading a book. This is my go-to book at the moment. It's The 5 Lessons by Neville Goddard.
Have not heard of that. I'll have to check it out afterwards.
Please. And Christine and I have a podcast coming up called The Daily Neville, where we go into this metaphysical writer it's unbelievable, and give you lessons about life that you will it will change your way of thinking, literally.
When was it published? Is it one of those old books?
No, this one was published pretty recently, but it's about lectures that he gave in the 50s.
Okay, yeah, I know some of the best stuff. I mean, I know you did a version of I think it was Think and Grow Rich, but people like Napoleon Hill are just completely timeless.
Yeah, exactly. This guy is beyond timeless. I mean, he literally set the time machine.
Nice.
And I'll give you something to think about. The Bible is not a history book. It's a storybook.
Hadn't heard it that way before, but it is chock full of stories.
And the stories are allegories and their use of metaphors in order to get you to think in a different direction. Moses did not part the sea. It's a story. And if you don't think it's a story, show me where Moses is buried.
Point made. Very valid.
And then the challenge becomes, okay, how does this change your belief system?
Which you need to do from time to time. I
The
would
answer is it
imagine.
rocks it. Okay, so let me go back just a little bit. We had a podcast a couple of weeks ago, and I basically verbally beat the shit out of you. You talked
I
about
wouldn't have put it that way. Oh my gosh.
okay, well, we talked about finding the pain, and I told you what I believe finding the pain is all about, and basically boils down to 4 words: none of your fucking business. My pain is none of your business. If I tell you my pain, it's because I'm volunteering it. If you ask me for my pain, I'm going to tell you it's none of your business. Or if you're seeking to find my pain, it's none of your business.
Okay, so
So
how do you bridge that? Because that's what I mean in sales, that's what so many people say. It's all about the pain point. It's all
and
about the pain
you know what?
points.
They're all wrong. That's why I make a lot of money and they don't. That's why they have a car payment and I don't. And the challenge is I'm going to find the pleasure. I just do the opposite. I'd rather find out where they went to college, how they play golf, where they went on their last vacation. I want to find out things that I may have in common with them because I don't have their pain in common at all. And I'm going to go beyond pain and I'm going to go beyond pleasure and I'm going to find shared values. If I can find those shared values, I have a deeper relationship with that person than I could ever hope for.
Well,
Okay.
actually, you had mentioned shared values and what is now the lost tape. As far as we were talking about, and you had some great points I'd love to talk about again, as far as selling a B2B service, starting with a shared, how to sell a B2B service sounds like starting with shared value would be the starting point, or does it go back further than that?
Actually, it's finding a shared value, not starting with a shared value. You don't know what the shared value is until you start to talk about it, and then you discover it. But you're not going to discover it if you're trying to find out what's wrong with this guy. What's wrong with this guy is none of your business. What keeps you up at night? Wild sex. Now, what are you going to say?
You're going to get the whole sales conversation is going to get
Exactly. So,
completely derailed.
anyway, so here's the deal. I beat the shit out of Mark Carter. He's a great guy, smart guy, but I just put his thinking in a different space. And what happens? 3 days later, I get this gallon tin of Garrett's popcorn, my favorite. It's not cheap. It has a note in here. Dear Jeffrey, go fuck yourself. I love this. No, it says, thank you very much for making time to be on my podcast. It was full of amazing strategies. Can't wait to write up the show, sales notes, and publish it. Okay, this is very nice. And thank you. So I wanted to thank you in front of your whole audience because you did the right thing. This is the popcorn of it's caramel popcorn. It is the best popcorn in the world. Not in Chicago, in the world. And because you can buy caramel popcorn anywhere, but it always tastes like shit compared to Garrett's.
Of course.
And even in Chicago, other competitors of Garrett taste like shit. So whoa. It's like heroin. I've never had heroin, but I guarantee you the
Neither
caramel
have I. I'll
popcorn,
stick with popcorn.
I think it's in there somewhere. Anyway, he did the right thing. He sticks to his guns. He has his opinions. Everyone's entitled to their wrong opinion. And he's got a lot of them. And so I really want to further this conversation so that salespeople can understand where they get their opinions from. And normally it's from other salespeople. And because sales managers don't always get that. If I ask your audience right now, how many of you think you're smarter than your sales manager? They'll all raise their hand.
Yeah.
Well, if you have an idiot for a sales manager, what the fuck are you doing there? Go find somebody who's smart that you can learn from. I mean, think about it. Go on. If I was a salesperson and I worked for a company where my manager was amazing, I'd go on 2 sales calls a week with that guy, minimum. But most salespeople don't even want to go on a sales call with their manager
Why?
because they don't think the manager is going to make the sale.
Hence, there's nothing to learn.
And it's almost putting the sale in jeopardy. That's pretty stupid. Anyway, here's the challenge. And this is a big, big challenge. Salespeople need to understand that it's not about selling. It's all about establishing that deep relationship and finding out why the other person wants to buy. People don't like to be sold, but they love to buy. You go to a car dealership, you don't go there to get sold a car. You go there to buy a car. But car salespeople don't quite get that, do they?
No.
If it wasn't for the word today, they couldn't even talk. What brings you in today? You're looking to lease or buy today? You have a trade in today? Like, dude, shut up. I have a
What does it take to get you into this car today?
Right, exactly. So I have a piece of paper in my pocket. I did some online research. Here's what I'm willing to pay for the car. Take it to your daddy and let me know if we have a deal. That's what I would, and I've done it a couple of times. And it's amazing how salespeople are not taught the right way.
Why do you think that? Well, yeah, that's what I'm.
Because they're idiots. They're so desperate for a sale that they're like holding on to the other guy's leg. Please don't leave. Please come back, please. So if I was going to greet a person at a car dealership, I would say, welcome to this Lexus dealership. Show me the car that you really, really want. The showroom is full of cars. Show me the car that you think is the greatest car on the planet. And the guy goes, and he picks one out. I go, let's take it for a drive.
Okay.
And I take the keys out and I go, I got a headache. Do you mind driving? Now this guy's out on the road with my car, driving around, feeling like a king. Because it probably wasn't the car he was going to buy. He was probably going to buy a lesser model for less money. But I got him driving the best car on the planet. The all-electric one, the one with the SUV, whatever the deal is. It's a $100,000 car. And now we come back to the showroom and I go, tell me about it. Was that the car you came in to buy or were you looking for a different one? Was that the car you were looking to buy or were you looking to buy a different one?
They're probably going to say they're looking to buy a different one, but they're probably going to want the one they just drove.
Bingo. And so I'm going to say, okay, so tell me your choices now. You can have any car in this place. Which one do you want? I'm closing the sale from the first minute the guy walks in. And I'm closing it on his terms or her terms. And I'm having a good time. We just went for a ride. We shot the breeze. Maybe we talked about the Phillies that are 10 games in first place or the Cubbies. Huh?
I was going to say normal conversation, not sales conversation.
Right. So you're going to buy this car, Mr. Jones. What's the first thing you're going to do?
Drive it off the lot.
Where are you going to go?
Home, I would assume.
And who are you going to show it to?
If it's a him, it could be either way, but they're going to show it to their significant other.
Of course, or they're going to bring their significant other there. Now,
yeah.
Let's talk about car dealership salespeople who are usually, I don't want to say this in a way that's derogatory, but they're fucking idiots.
Way to tone it down.
Thanks.
Yeah.
The guy drives off the lot with a $50,000, $60,000, $80,000, $100,000 car. Where's the picture of that guy? Where's the video of that guy that they put up on the website? And the answer is it's no place. Because they don't understand the value of social proof at all. They're social idiots because they go home at night and they drink a beer and they watch Netflix and they think that they're going to be able to get to the next plateau because they're quote, an experienced sales guy. They've been doing this for 10 years, 15 years, 20 years. They know the ropes. They know everything, but they don't take a picture of somebody leaving in their brand new car, waving, little video. Yeah, Bob was the greatest salesperson we ever met. This is the greatest deal I ever got. I can't wait to recommend both my friends to come here because he's an idiot. You can go on any car dealer's website and I guarantee you won't find one picture of a guy driving off the lot because they're all idiots.
Have you ever told a dealership that just to test the waters to see if they would take your advice?
Yep. They don't.
They didn't?
No. I'll give you one that's even more realistic. All the sales guys are inside the dealership waiting for the next person to come in, who they refer to as an up. You aware of that?
No.
Car dealership talk is it's your up. Somebody
Okay.
walks in and they, and it just evolved over the years as an up. Not a customer coming to buy the greatest car in the world, an up. Okay. And it's raining outside. And so what do? They watch the guy get out of the car, get soaked, and come into the dealership. Don't they?
Where they could have taken an umbrella, I'm guessing.
Yep. Run out to the car, let the person in, and let them keep the umbrella so they can retell the story.
How about stories in the B2B space? That would be interesting for the audience. And
okay.
Yeah.
Let's say you're going to buy a copier. That's pretty B2B, isn't it?
How about B2B services?
Like accounting?
Accounting, consulting.
Well, hi, my name is Jeffrey. I'm a business consultant. I come in and I shit all over your birthday cake and then I leave. If you used that line, you immediately start out making the other person laugh like hell. And they think you're a regular guy, don't they?
I've never heard it before, but I'd imagine that would be one of my reactions.
Exactly. You've never heard it before. You're laughing. We already have laughter in common. And you're going to listen to me because I'm real. I'm not full of shit. I got hired one time by Siemens to do a really big project. I won out over 11 other people to give the same kind of training.
Okay.
And before we negotiated the contract, and I'm in the room with all these decision maker guys, I said, why did you pick me? And the answer was, because you're the only person that wasn't buttoned down. You were the only person that looked us in the eye when you were presenting. You're the only person that we consider to be real.
That's awesome.
Exactly. And my challenge to any salesperson who's listening, how real are you? Because most of the time, they're not real. We've been in business for 27 years and we have a track record of doing, our customers really love us. And we come in and we analyze the problems and, dude, shut the fuck up. You're boring. Yeah, let me go over these 27 slides with you so I can really bore the shit out of you.
Oh, yeah. Death by PowerPoint.
I was leaving several years ago, and this is an amazing lesson that I got just on observation. I was in Houston, and if you know anything about Houston, the ballpark is right next to uptown.
Okay.
I'm staying at the Hilton. Roger Clemens was pitching for the Astros. At the time, they were paying him $16 million to throw baseballs over the plate. I figured it out. It's $4,000 a pitch. Can you imagine if they paid him after every pitch? Strike one. There's your 4,000, Roger.
Another bag of money.
Right, exactly. So I come back to the hotel and the lobby's kind of full of people. And there's a guy with a laptop pitching another guy, obviously a sales situation. And the customer, the prospect, is not even looking at the laptop. So I stopped and I said to the sales guy, I said, what are you doing? And he said, well, I'm making a presentation. He said, well, this guy's not even looking at you. I looked at the customer. I said, are you buying or not? He goes, yeah, probably I'm going to buy. I said, well, then what the fuck are you doing here? Just stop selling and just get the contract out so he signs. And I walked away. And it's the reality of it is the salesperson doesn't know mentally or physically when the customer has already bought it. And the only thing you can do is lose it at that point. When I go into a big cheese's office, company president, Fortune 500 company, somebody, I ask this one question. You want to buy now or you want to hear the pitch?
How often do they buy now?
Half.
Nice.
And because they already know I'm not there for the hell of it.
Yeah.
I'm there because I've set the call up. And so why am I giving a pitch to somebody that's already bought?
It shouldn't.
No. And they don't want to hear my pitch anyway. If I'm selling a copier to this company or I'm selling consulting services to this company, I'm going to ask them, why do you need me?
Okay.
What do you mean? Well, I'm here. I have this product. You obviously have some kind of need. If I understand that, I can help you the most. Oh,
Valid.
and they don't give a shit about who I am. They don't care if I drop fucking dead right in their office. Look at that. The salesman died. Look at that. Look at that. They don't care. They care more about their parking ticket than they care about a sales guy. And so you have to look at this from a standpoint of, okay, why should I pay attention to what you're telling me? And the answer is not by what you're telling me, by what you're asking me.
Ooh, I like that one.
Sales are not made by telling. Sales are made by asking. It's a difference between an assertive sale, ask, or an aggressive sale, tell.
So what kind of questions? You already mentioned the one, do you want to buy now or do you want to see a presentation? What other types of questions should
that's
people
cute.
ask?
I want to talk about, how do you currently use? What's been your experience? Can you bring someone in that's actually using the service? Can you bring somebody in that's actually using the product? Let's listen to what they have to say. Because most of the time, the person making the decision is not the person who's going to use, is not the person who's going to be totally involved. So I want to bring in other people that are, and someone's going to say, oh yeah, we deal business with ABC. Their service sucks. They don't call me back. Okie dokie. What's that? That's a buying signal. That's a clincher for me. I said, would 1 hour turnaround service time, would that be okay? Yeah, that'd be great. Thank you for being here.
Mm-hmm.
I take out a contract, I show it to the guy, and I go, press hard, 3 copies. I'm done with that sale.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't have to sell anything. The internal person sold it for me. You can't ignore the people that use.